Hi, I'm Megan again, and once again, your host for this 5-minute political news brief. In sticking with his theme of appointing people to the government whose only qualifications are a visible ring of fecal matter around their noses, Donald Trump continues to fill his clown car with sycophants at best and morally bankrupt humans at worst. And by clown car, I of course mean the White House administration. The intention is to disregard laws that have been in place since 1963 that include background checks, vetting, and Senate confirmation in order to serve as these high-ranking government officials. But more on that later. We begin our journey with dog killer and Kim Jong-un stan, Kristi Noem. She is Donald's choice for Homeland Security Secretary. Her role will include protecting the country from terrorism, border security, cybersecurity, disaster response, and overseeing the enforcement of immigration laws. None of this is an indication that Noem will be able to make that fantasy of staring down Kim Jong-un like her autobiographical and mostly nonfiction novel stated prior to being removed, because it is blatantly false. Unfortunately, her record on cybersecurity is already beginning with a doozy created by Donald's team and not signing transition memos. Experts warn that they are leaving themselves open to cyber threats, but since when have they listened to experts? Another appointee making slightly smaller waves has been chosen to be the Secretary of Defense. This role includes, but is not limited to, overseeing the military, advising the president on matters of national security, making defense policies, managing the military budget, and coordinating with allies. You may know Pete Hegseth from his extramarital affairs, throwing an axe at a group of drummers on live TV, and his refusal to wash his hands. Despite him being a Fox News host for years, many are concerned about his lack of experience and knowledge regarding how to actually do the job. A plus is that he is actually an Army National Guard veteran, so there is at least some military experience. As for the coordinating with allies part, Don's status as president-elect has made us the laughingstock of the world, and since he openly claimed that he hopes Russia bombs the places that didn't pay their bills, I'm not so sure he's going to have to worry about allies. Fortunately, Hegseth will have someone, the Attorney General, guiding his hand and holding him accountable. Unfortunately for U.S. citizen, that person, if Don gets his way, is Matt Gaetz. You may know him from his many scandals, including facing a sex trafficking investigation by the Justice Department that Donald wants to put him in charge of, being investigated by the House Ethics Committee, and acting Republican congressman for Florida. Florida man. Am I right? Oh, I'm getting an update that Gaetz resigned from Congress, effectively ending the ethics investigation, and a mere 2 days before the committee was scheduled to vote to release the results of their probe into the allegations against Gaetz of child sex trafficking would be conducted. Interesting. I sure hope that they're able to keep the results of this investigation off the record. Gaetz denies any wrongdoing and blames Kevin McCarthy as the reason this all came about. This is obviously false, as the probe into this alleged unethical conduct began prior to McCarthy taking the House. Gaetz, who has been reported to be a disgusting human being and the embodiment of a breathing dumpster fire, if successfully appointed as AG, would be the head of the DOJ, legal advisor to the president. He would oversee federal prosecutors, protect public interest, and handle major cases that can affect the entire country. Again, many are concerned that although he does hold a law degree, he has never prosecuted a single case. Tulsi Gabbard, whom many believe, whether willing or unwilling, an agent for Vladimir Putin, has been selected to be the director of national intelligence. Surely there isn't a single person who would be concerned about an ally of a dictator that's bombing and killing its neighbor, calling in bomb threats in important swing states during a U.S. election, and who broadcasted nudes of Melania Trump on networks across Russia directly following Trump's win, having access to all of the United States intelligence data. Surely that wouldn't be a problem. There is a problem that I mentioned before that candidates for high-powered government roles must undergo, including those background checks, vetting, and Senate confirmation, that many of these people will not be able to navigate successfully. Old Donny Boy has a plan for this too, though, which includes having payer of a $1.7 billion settlement for Medicaid fraud and recently re-elected Senate member in Florida. Seriously, Florida, what the hell? Rick Scott as the Senate Majority Leader. The goal is to have him change the rules in the Senate, allowing them to go on recess for 10 days. That would then allow Donald Twitt to select these people to serve as acting government staff without any vetting or Senate approval. They would be able to serve for no longer than 2 years, but there is a great deal of damage that these disastrous appointments could create in a full 2 years. Surprisingly, despite Scott having support from Trump and Musk, John Thune was elected as Senate Majority Leader in a secret ballot election. This is the only glimmer of hope that I was able to find in these concerning selections, and even he might cave to the maggots within the Senate despite his tumultuous history with Donald Trash. Continue to revolt by being kind and decent humans, and hopefully John Thune can be the face of the right becoming less wrong. Again, I'm Megan. I'll see you next time.